Grand Prix of Qatari's go. Not a great start initially from Bagnaia. Look at Miller coming through from the second row. The Ducati's a blast.
Out of this world. Where did he come from? Incredible. Zarco was 6th. He's only inside the top 3 to KTM.
Tech 3 KTM has been to 3rd already. They've been battered by the Ducatis. Former Ducati man Danilo Petrucci's race has come to an end. So
got a great launch by Miller, but nobody nailed the start quite like Jorge Martin. From 14th place, middle of the 5th row.
Teammate Maverick Vinales. It was a horror show for Franco Morbidelli, by the way. He's in 16th as Danilo Petrucci.
Any great inroads at the moment. They're still hovering around 9th and 10th place. Pecco Bagnaia started the week out, a gap already on Jack Miller over Hucko.
What a start it was for the Ducatis. What a start for Pecco Bagnaia from pole position. As they go across the line here comes Joan.
The Ducatis rather down that 1 kilometre straight. They've just got such a vast performance advantage. Bagnaia leads at the end of the first. It's just come up on our screens. No jump start. Jorge Martin will never nail a start like that as long as he's racing in both 10 riders. Well, Yamaha was saying pre-race from Massimo Merigali, boss of Monster Energy Yamaha, that they expect, or they
want to make any block passes, will only pass on the straight. Well, that was almost out of the window straight away there from Maverick Vinales, who we're on board with.
On board then now with Maverick Vinales, looking ahead at his teammate Fabio Quartararo. Vinales lining up the move, no, thought about it, but
try and get the job done on the start-finish straight.
Rins at the moment made no great impression on showing his front wheel to Valentino Rossi. That's a battle.
Vinales swarming over the rear tyre of Fabio Quartararo, desperate to find a way through. Bagnaia fastest.
Jorge Martin, as Steve mentioned, Morbidelli's having an absolute nightmare. Shocker on the opening night for Franco Morbidelli.
Something Quartararo, the door was just left slightly open from the rookie Martin, and through he goes.
Yeah, there was something happened to Morbidelli on that second lap, Steve. He did a 50.
Suzuki still, so...
Yeah, Vinales has got Martin as well.
Yeah, no surprise.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, this is all about
place.
Got in hot Rossi, lost all of his corner speed and momentum. Rins didn't really have to work very hard for that pass, did he?
Former teammate
was working very, very well too, but he struggled a little bit to maintain that pace. He did say yesterday he was a little bit concerned about the first few laps of the...
Up into 8th place. Now remember, folks, the Suzukis are world champions for very good reason, and they keep their tyres to the end of
just around half a second.
Believe it or not, that is 1/1000th of a second off the Quartararo and Vinales.
Rossi couldn't deal with the two Suzukis behind him, and now he's got Aleix Espargaro and Miguel Oliveira and Vinales, that's for sure.
There is Jack Miller, 3rd place at this moment in time.
And of course worked on more mechanical grip, they've certainly worked on the electronics to generate more tyre durability, as Alex for the likes of Rins and Mir, because they're not going to outgun Martin's Ducati down that start-finish straight. And what's happening is, while they're 54.6 from Maverick Vinales, the two factory Yamaha men are starting to really hunt down Miller and Zarco. Well, they're already onto the back of Miller and Zarco.
I do just wonder at the moment whether Miller is just holding back a bit based on what you just said a moment ago.
Yeah, he does this so often, doesn't he? Alex Rins starts ghosting his way to the front after poor quality.
Bagnaia has been given the information of the gap he's got over Joan Zarco further back. There's Aleix Espargaro, not the perfect start for Franco Morbidelli. He's down in 20th and lapping slow.
I don't know what he's got, but he's got a problem in on his last lap, mid-56.
Miguel Oliveira, 11th place for him at the moment, a 55.4 last time around. We crossed the line.
So going to give himself a lot of work to come through the back.
Now Zarco was almost half a second quicker than Pecco Bagnaia on that last.
If I do drop the hammer and get into 54s too quickly, well then I might hit those rear grip problems that everybody feels.
7 or 8 riders in this, as it is at the moment. The early stages, it's all about Ducatis, 1, 2 and 3, but the Yamahas are closing.
Yamaha turning on a sixpence, hasn't he, through the likes of turns 2, turns 6 and 9 as well. Got to get at least 5 or 6 bike lengths to keep him behind the slipstream.
Oh, here he comes, here comes the move. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Miller winds up the wick to 6th gear on that Ducati, although Quartararo's got pretty good drive, hasn't he, coming off of turn 6. Chance on the brakes, wasn't it, into the first corner. Miller didn't even have a slipstream there, Steve, and he was still able to blitz by the Yamaha. That was seeing how you do it from Fabio Quartararo's point of view. This is Franco Morbidelli, who's having an absolutely awful, dreadful start to
5s. There's definitely a problem because Franco Morbidelli, that is just not reflective of the speed he's got.
Threatened a strong race last night in FP4, and he's putting together a very strong race, as he so often does. PB lap on the last circuit.
He wasn't quite on the money in terms of his pace. He's crashed at turn 9.
High 55s, nowhere near good enough from the Portuguese man.
We come across the line then to complete lap 7. It's still number 63, Bagnaia, who leads this as well. The world champion sitting at this moment in 7th place.
The corner speed that Fabio Quartararo's
Alex Rins in the background as well, desperate to try and get in touch with these guys. He's lapping ever so slightly quicker than Maverick Viñales ahead.
Valentino Rossi was hoping for after such an outstanding qualifying last night. Out of the top 10 now, the doctor.
There's on his good friend Jack Miller. Miller fading, he's falling backwards. Maverick Viñales then makes it Yamaha.
15 laps. Yeah, we've only chalked off a third race distance.
It is difficult to call, Matt Tack. We will find out.
Alex Rins has put some clear daylight between himself and his Suzuki teammate Joan Mir. The gap between the two GSXR, Marini 16th and Luca Marini 17th.
The two factory Yamahas are closing now on Johann Zarco. This has been a brilliant ride from both quackers.
Because Fabio's pace is really on the money, but the Catties ahead of him are not getting away. So Viñales can just sit there for as long as...
Rins is now getting closer and closer on his factory Suzuki to the tail of Jack Miller.
Which can spell trouble, because if Alex Rins is...
Alex looks like, doesn't he, that he's got the better speed of the two Yamaha riders at the moment. He wants to make sure that the movie... Fascinating race so far, and still plenty of it left.
This might be it, turn 15, this could well be it. No,
Zarco. Onto the start-finish straight we go. 13 laps remain, 9 gone.
But he's been lethal on the brakes into that first corner. He really is strong, a lot of confidence in that front tyre going into turn 1.
4.9, fastest man on that last lap.
Aleix Espargaro finally dispensed of Martin then, he's up into 8th.
9th on the grid.
Jack Miller said at the test he didn't feel like the Suzukis had shown their full hand.
But brilliant from Viñales. Quick check on
the Yamaha SRT. That's an absolute disaster for them.
This is just a matter of time for Maverick Viñales. He has go into the final turn. I'm fascinated to see what happens on the start-finish straight, Matt, to see what has happened to Ducati's speed. There's a headwind.
Fabio Quartararo is being closed down rather rapidly by Joan Mir. Half a second between those two, then a further half a second.
This is going to go down as one of his best. If he wins this race, it'll be his best ever MotoGP race, bar none.
It's still Pecco Bagnaia who's led from the get-go.
Well, so often, Maverick Viñales has talked a big game. Oh, here he comes. He's going for it. There's a gap. That's so tight. There's going to be contact almost. Wow, incredible. Ducati are dropping 20 Ks on the start-finish straight.
And that Yamaha, it turns so well. That's why...
Crew chief looking on. Also, just by the way, closing in on this group, not just Aleix Espargaro.
Miller gets back on Rins with some Ducati grunt down the start-finish straight.
He just about gets the bike stopped.
Crucial last 2 or 3 laps.
So often Maverick Viñales has asked questions of Bagnaia.
Got blitzed by some Miller power. Although he has wrestled that place back, hasn't he, again, Alex Rins?
He's 12 in second, here he comes. Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff from Top Gun. Maverick Viñales.
Has just pushed the Ducatis to stress those tyres out a little bit more. He thinks he's going to have the better tyre at the end of the race. Now, get his head down.
The number 36, he's now closing on this pack as well.
Well, it's Top Guns, all guns blazing at the moment. It's of lap 16. Bagnaia and Zarco, who's held that third place for quite some time, the Frenchman, but for how much?
Closing on Fabio Quartararo, by the way, with pole behind, and Enea Bastianini is 10th. The rookie.
Incredible that feat here tonight.
Have the Ducatis got any answer to this?
5-6 bike lengths and more now on Bagnaia, as they're deep into sector 3 on this lap 16.
With Jack Miller looking back now to the world champion Joan Mir, who I would fancy would say, I'll have...
15, took the space away from Jack Miller, and the world champion now starting to look really menacing Mir.
The Frenchman's going to block pass into turn 1, he goes through into second.
Yeah, Viñales was 3/10 quicker than the two Ducatis immediately. That was how bad it was. What a way to respond and kick off 2021 potentially with a stunning victory.
Again, no, not quite. Rins on the brink of a podium.
Well, this has not gone to script so far for the factory Ducati team. GP race with how good the Suzuki is at the end.
On board now. Slammed shut by Jack Miller.
Zarco showing his class as well, isn't he, here at the moment? Top Ducati on the current
right now, and he's doing it.
It's not happening for Jack Miller, unfortunately, is it? He's in the 56s right now as the Aussie, just not clicking for him.
Rins, that's the battle for third. Up ahead, it's Viñales from Zarco. There's Aleix Espargaro in 8th place.
1 second quicker than Bagnaia.
Shall I tell you who is faster than Bagnaia? This man, Enea Bastianini.
Brick start, he obviously pushed really hard to keep in that lead group at the start. He's encountering some rear grip issues, as we would have expected. In fact, he's only just found a way through on Jorge Martin, and that 57.5 from Martin suggests that he probably made a mistake on that previous lap.
Brad Binder into turn 1. Oh no, being nudged.
Producing a world champions ride here and trying to kickstart the defence of his title from the podium.
Well, that will wake Alex
today nights in MotoGP. Maverick Viñales now nearly a second clear of Zarco. He's still doing
through the pack. All of a sudden, there's a few other riders that are having second wins. Fabio Quartararo was quicker than Alex moment in time, and we thought it was unpredictable tonight. But if someone would have said to me that Maverick would have been mired back in 5th.
Zarco at the moment, I was going to say, relatively comfortable in 2nd place. He's got about 7/10 back.
On Friday, Joan Mir, when he spoke to our colleague Amy Reynolds, he really did.
Well, it just shows the class of the game. It's coming. It is coming, no doubt about it.
Aleix Espargaro's gone through on Jack Miller as well now. They're 0.6 seconds clear now.
Yeah, he's in a different league, totally different league, Steve. 55.382 as Quartararo is just like a sitting duck here, isn't he?
Pol Espargaro goes through into 8th. Tardozzi can't believe it. They're on the brink here. Here comes Mir, up the inside of Pecco Bagnaia. Neatly done. The block pass executed to perfection. And
what Ducati were anticipating at all. They started 1st and 2nd on Friday. They had pole position last night. A new top speed record by Mir.
Well, this is what Mir did all last year. This is just your classic Joan Mir performance from 10th on the...
It's how you come out and respond, and his response has been pretty emphatic, to say the least.
He might get 2nd as yet.
Certainly Jack Miller.
Into turn 1 we go with just a couple of laps remaining.
Yeah, I mean, because he can just stage manage the race from this point onwards. 1.7 seconds clear of Zarco. It's going to take a monumental mistake by Viñales.
Rides of his life at the front of this MotoGP race to kick off 2021.
It was a dream debut on the factory Yamaha for him in tonight's race.
Simon, before we get into the last lap, your thoughts on this Ducati speed here with the wind?
Back to a more conservative fuel map, and then they lose that extra speed.
Well, they certainly have lost it, and the world champion on the Suzuki moves up into 2nd place. What a salvage job that would be.
What a rescue mission.
The last lap of the race here at the Losail International Circuit. Maverick Viñales with over a second to play with.
Job on the field here. He's done a number on this field.
And more impressive than that, sorry, Matt, is the fact...
You really know what Maverick Viñales is going to turn up. You were wondering whether he was going to wilt, but no. He's been absolutely sensational.
Now, to stop himself actually, potentially not even being on the podium at all.
So a bit of late drama. Ducati's Ferraro as well. Rins' charge through has faded somewhat lately.
Well, it has been quite the night. Champion into 2nd place. Unbelievable move.
Pure
what
class.
A job. They'll celebrate this like a victory as they now head into the last.
Oh no! Mir's been absolutely mugged.
He's lost 2nd.
Can you believe it?
Oh no!
And Mir had it absolutely nailed on. He got hammered by the Ducatis. Did he just lose a bit of grip and speed coming out that final corner?